Welcome to Below the Forest Floor. My name is Nancy, and I'm here with my co-host / husband, Ryan.
Hi.
I know I said the first episode of season 3 wasn't premiering till the end of February, but I definitely wanted to make room in the schedule for today's adorable creature, the Fresno Nightcrawlers. Now, Ryan, have you ever heard of the Fresno Nightcrawlers before I talked to you about it?
Before you talk to me about it? No.
So you've never heard anything about these things?
Negative.
So
but no, like sorry.
Okay. No, go ahead.
I've only heard of it from when you've talked about it before, because you're like, hey, have you ever seen this sort of? It was like, this is crazy, and then I was looking at it, it's like, wow, that really is. But I've never heard of it.
Oh, okay, cool, good to know. I just heard about it recently, actually, even though it's kind of old, but not really old.
I actually remember you showing me once when we lived back in Texas, so It has been a little while.
Yes, but not like as recently as, not as old as this story is. I hadn't heard of it.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I mean? Because it's about a decade old now, I think. Maybe. I don't know. Anyways, so a bit of background on these interesting creatures is that they range between the height of 4 to 7 feet tall, but some people say they're less than a foot tall, so I'm not sure what's right or what isn't. It's made up possible creatures or aliens, so who knows? And they were first sighted in 2007 in Fresno County, California, which is how they got their name, and they are usually seen in pairs. And I forgot to write this down, but I'm going to describe a little bit of what they look like. Imagine a pair of pants that are white, pulled all the way up to the top of someone's head, and they're covering your arms, and that's it. That's literally what it looks like.
It's like some of the old Scooby-Doo ghosts, except instead of it having the trailing bottom, it goes into
Legs?
MC Hammer pants.
Alright, so Ryan, I'm going to show you a quick video of these creatures, and I want you to tell me what you think. Alright, so I have shown Ryan 2 videos of the Fresno Nightcrawlers. One of them just had 1, and the other one had 2 of them. One of them was fairly small and was looking around at one point, and the other one was extremely tall, like the first video. So what do you think, Ryan?
So the thing about these that I'm kind of looking at is going by the way of, like, at first glance, it looks like a person, you know, kind of like in stilts, you know, walking. But it doesn't move right. It almost looks like it's computer generated also. It looks like it could be, like, going devil's advocate, I guess, or it's just like the hoaxy kind of thinking of it. I don't really know what to think, because their feet don't match up with how fast they move. It's just weird to me watching that. And I know that the first video you showed me of the one walking, it almost looked like the legs were moving in a direction that it was not. It looked like it would have been moving a different way. It's almost like, you know, those first year animation, like, green screen guys, where it's like it's the legs are walking like it should be going this way, but you see it kind of like doing this instead.
Oh, right.
So I'm not sure. Oh, you got another one?
Oh, this is actually one that was filmed in Poland. That the other ones were like security cameras. Mm-hmm. This one was filmed by someone holding a camera, saying they saw it in person. I don't know if you could see right there how the legs...
I did for a second, then the guy looked up.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why.
There we go. And so, this is what a close-up would look like. What they are saying are the Fresno Nightcrawlers.
That's interesting.
Do you feel like this one looked more realistic and less animated?
I actually saw more of a stilt feel to it when its leg moved. There was a clear push in a square way on the leg, where think of like a really baggy pants, and then the people with stilts, you know how when they start to walk, how it kind of like pushes against it, but it looked like there was a clear square, but who knows, you know, that's what it looked like to me.
Right. According to witnesses and people who have watched these clips, there are 4 different kinds of reactions. The first being they're fake. which is the obvious. The second being they're ghosts. Some
I can
people
kind of think of that as well, but it's just it's too weird seeing the movement of the like quote unquote the. It's kind of weird seeing the I guess fabric, for lack of a better word, right now when it comes to talking about ghosts. You know, it moves in a way that it would be difficult to think about if it was a ghost. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, which is fair. Although some people do claim that like they see ghosts in certain kinds of fabric, but I don't think I've ever seen a ghost that looks like this. It looks like someone did a cartoon ghost situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they tried to make it real. The third thing that people think about when they see these are aliens, and then the fourth is that they look like walking pants.
They absolutely look like walking pants.
Which is funny because I didn't really think that when I first saw it.
Really?
I did. Yeah.
What'd you think?
I just thought they looked like kind of okay, so there's this ghost cartoon that I saw one time. It looks like it's from like the 60s or 50s. And it's this ghost that just has two white legs at a top part. And it looks like the cartoon ghost. So that's why I kind of figured it looked like a ghost, but like animated. It looks like it's something I could have done in Blender. You know what I mean? So the very first sighting of the Fresno Nightcrawlers was in Fresno, California. And it was caught through a security camera mounted above a garage. According to the report, the man who first saw the Fresno Nightcrawlers had been alerted almost nightly by some kind of occurrence happening outside at night that would cause his dogs to bark uncontrollably. He got really tired of that, and he wanted to see what was happening, and eventually decided to put up the security camera to find out what kind of animal or person was riling up his pets, or to make sure, he was trying to get broken into. When he checked the footage the next day, he was surprised to see the strange alien-like creatures strutting down the street. And I could say lurking, I could use any word, but they looked like they were strutting to me when they were walking. Strutting down the street in front of his home. He immediately called the police because that's what you do when you see an alien, right? Like, that's gonna help you. And neither could figure out what they were seeing. It is said that somehow, doesn't say how, the footage got leaked to the media, and that's how people found out about this new cryptid.
So basically, the police said there's nothing we can do about it, so the guy sent it to the media then, because if the cops won't do anything, that's what you do. You put pressure on them for doing it. Make it known.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, you saw them. What do we do now? Okay, ghosts or aliens. Now what? At this point, I don't even know. And, okay, so the second sighting, 'cause there was multiple sightings, was by a person, but it sounded weird at first, okay, because it sounded like it was just a man saw it, but then it said a couple saw it. So I'm not sure what the story is behind this, but I'm going to say like the whole couple thing. It was a couple driving along Carmel Road in Ohio in 2014. The husband, allegedly an ex-Marine and skeptic, according to his wife, who was the one that reported this incident to her. And this is what she was directly quoted as saying. "My husband saw it. He is a skeptic, almost 60 years old and a proud Marine. He wouldn't have admitted to seeing it if he hadn't been in shock. I had him draw it for me when we got to the house. He says it was asphalt gray. Our asphalt is gray. I don't know why she felt like she had to say that. And about 7 feet tall. No arms that he could see, but muscular in the leg area. No jawline, and its legs were bent backwards and it leaned forward as it ran. So, unlike the videos I showed you where it's just kind of strutting and walking, whatever this man saw was running. So if you can imagine what we just saw, running by your car, this is allegedly what this man saw. What do you think?
Honestly, I don't know. I have no words for it. Because what we've seen, the ones that you show me at least, I can imagine those things running, and good God, they would have tripped and fallen or something like that. Really, like, because if it's a stiff leg like that, because it's not, the legs don't look like they're bending.
Oh, yeah.
Or at least they don't bend in, like, the halfway point like you would expect. It seems like it may bend a little bit higher up.
Oh, like they don't have knees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Now, this creature that I just told you about was given a different name because it was not found in Fresno. and people didn't know it was the same thing or that it could be the same thing. So they called this cryptid the Carmel area creature, even though it does sound very much like the Fresno Nightcrawler. So people usually kind of put those two together.
Yeah.
Now, I went to the Highland County Press website, a local news source in Ohio, and found that they had also put out an article on the Carmel area creature, but allowed people to put comments down below. Upon reading some of the comments...
A good rookie mistake.
But it's content for us. So, upon reading some of the comments, there was an older couple that weren't the ones that had the run-in with these creatures. The one commenter who went by the screen name Steven had this to say. So these people just used random screen names because obviously. So take whatever I'm about to say with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? It's random commenters on the internet. But we talk about cryptids and the supernatural. So who knows anything?
Yeah.
Honestly. So this is what Steven had to say. My brother, sister, and I saw a gray-brown, faceless, and armless creature that was around 7 feet tall at dusk in the late fall of 1980 or 1981 in the area around Xenia, Ohio. It trotted our direction from about 150 to 200 yards away. We were up against some large trees, and I don't think it saw, heard, or smelled us because it went right by. Its trot was considerably faster than a man's fastest run. I don't recall seeing eyes, and because it was running at us, I don't recall which direction the knees bent, like a man or like an ostrich. It did not smell, and it didn't make any noise. I distinctly remember not being afraid of it. There is more to this. I think I should report this.
Well, not to just keep being a skeptic person right now, but it just 200 yards away. That's very far. That's 2 football fields away. Do you really think you can make a discernible feature of a person from 2 football fields away? Like seeing the football field at the school I used to work at.
Right.
Imagine 2 of those. You tell me if anything that far away is going to smell.
Well, it did say it went up to them. It just went by them.
Yeah. God, it would take a while for it to go 2 football fields towards you, though. That's
a scary thing. What if that's like how fast it was running, that they didn't even know what to do?
That's true. I didn't think about that. So, yeah.
And another commenter by the screen name SR actually said he heard this creature speak.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so this is his story. I have seen the face of one of these, I think, as it was very gray in color, no jawline, and spoke actually with a mouth. No lips, though. But the startling part of the face was this. It had a fold that was vertical in the upper eyelid. I was woken up by a noise at night and it spoke. I have since then wondered what the heck that was. Not sure if it was a ghost, alien, or what. I tend to think it might have been an alien since the upper eyelid, the head was covered by a gray cloth-looking hood, was not straight across like ours, but in the middle had a slit that was closed. I am sure that slit could open up. If vertical and horizontal slits in 2 eyelids, then if opened up completely, my guess would be that a person would see an entirely round eye. Is there something more to that, though? Makes you wonder. I mentioned the sighting where I lived in a very rural wooded area near a mountain to the holiness evangelical type pastor of the little country church I have been going to for over a year now. He preached to the congregation about a gray being with a hood that walked into his den when he had been drunk one night, and it woke him up, and he felt very afraid and thought it was the angel of death. He actually told them about that experience. that was the same week I had seen the gray thing. Are they aliens? Makes sense they would be in a rural wooded area. I did not want to tell anyone else about this because it's too strange.
That was okay. The thing that stuck out to me about that story, though, was just the pastor telling the congregation about one night when he got drunk. I can't get away from that. That was just kind of that hit me and it just made me kind of chuckle.
I mean, it's a rural little area. They probably all know each other, so it's like you can't really get away from it.
Absolutely.
They probably know.
living around here, that's definitely something that would happen. But that's crazy. Like, this person was woken up by it. I would have liked to have seen a drawing of what this person was talking about, because it was difficult to think about what they're trying to mention when it comes to the slits on the eyes and things like that, because there was... Oh, okay. Nancy just put her hands up to show me what...
It's like a cross, like up and down, or up and side to side.
Okay. It's just, it's creepy if these things are real, of course. But they haven't been around for very long, and when was the, most recent...
They haven't been around for long, publicly, because the story before this one, those kids saw it in the 80s.
Yeah, 80s. Well,
And let's be honest, who in the 80s or before was going and actively telling the media about aliens?
Oh, no, not at all. There wasn't much. I remember a lot of the stories of the stuff that's on, they're being talked about through, the Project Blue Book and things like that. That was all just kind of, hearsay, and there wasn't much actual evidence brought forward at a lot of those times. So, no, I understand. And it's crazy. I'm wondering just kind of what else there is with this as well then.
And that's the thing with the Fresno Nightcrawlers and these kinds of situations, because these stories that I found were not on the internet anywhere else I could find. They were on this little tiny area of Ohio and this random comment section of a newspaper article by a news source that's so small nobody really knows about it.
Yeah.
It just makes you really think about the things that aren't told to the media and things we don't know about yet, because I don't know if these people are telling the truth or not. I don't know if it was a whole nother drunken situation. But the thing is, there are so many stories that don't become popular, but people have experienced. And I can't just completely ignore it or say it's not real as somebody who has had supernatural experiences.
Exactly. And that's why I don't want to be the person that's always talking about, which most of the time I'm not. There's a couple of ones that I really do think are a hoax. This, honestly, I'm just going to be frank with you. This one I do feel like is just a person in a suit. But it's crazy to see. It's either a person dressed up, or it's fairly convincing, if it's, CGI or anything like that, because you would have to, grain something down to the point where it's as grainy as a security cam footage or anything like that. But it's the movement of it that makes me feel like that it's not real. But yeah.
I agree. As somebody who's been working with creating 3D objects in some kind of creator source thing, the video footage that we saw looked kind of fake to me. The way they move, the way that it feels like the animation's a little wonky. And if it's real, I'd be very surprised, because when I look at these things, they look kind of smooth, really smooth, almost like clay. And that's kind of what you get when you don't add textures to things on Blender.
And what it looks like to me, going further than that, is it does look like someone on stilts, because when it moves, like I said before about the leg moving like that, you can tell that even it might not be a complete, not even really, really big stilts. The smaller one could be a person with just 2 foot tall, anything like that, because the legs are so baggy that a person's legs could be there and it would still look like that.
It's the only reason I don't think it's stilts. There's 2 reasons why I don't think it's stilts. The first reason is it looks very much like a piece of claymation thing from Blender. The second one is that I've seen people walk on stilts, and it usually when you move the way that these creatures were moving, you don't even need wind, just from like moving your leg forward, the fabric would hit the stilt immediately and give the shape of the foot and the leg away and the actual stilt. And I didn't see that. It just looked like billowing fabric. It looked more like ghost-like fabric because it was kind of able to stay away from whatever. It's like when people draw fabric on drawings, and they're like, oh, it's not going to stick to the person's body. They talk about how it's not going to completely stick to the person's body, but it's going to move with the person's shape. And this looked like it was just kind of some constant blow of air was going through it, like a mascot costume.
It did kind of look like there was a lot of I think it was the second video you showed me. It kind of looked like there was a lot of wind, or the first one. The one thing I will say about it though is that when it got really close to the camera and was walking by, the legs didn't seem like they were connected to the ground, but it didn't look like there was anything underneath it.
What does that mean?
That would be probably what people would think ghost is, because if their feet aren't touching the ground at all.
Maybe alien, because we don't know if aliens need to walk. We don't know if the gravity here on Earth is the same as whatever they're doing. Like, it's like the whole Superman situation. Superman doesn't technically fly. Superman can jump for very big periods of time because of the gravity being so heavy on his home planet, and because it's so much less here on Earth. His jumping is basically him flying, so people think he flies.
Which is like going off on a quick little tangent for that, which is hilarious because every movie adaptation has made it look and feel like he's actually flying. Like he'll stop in midair for a little bit, and then he'll like put his arm forward and then go where he's going. It's like, is he jumping in midair then? It's like they're not holding on to their own continuity at that point.
Because I was just going to say, I read the origins of Superman,
and I know you have too.
So like that's unless like it just changes with depending on who's writing the story, it
always will.
That's why I'm saying like
it's like any of the movies, especially the new ones that have been coming out, and the TV show, the one that just wrapped up or whatever. Those ones definitely I saw that, and that's what I'm picturing in my head when you said the jump. It's like, yeah, but how's he stopping in midair then?
I don't know. I didn't write these things. I read them. But before we go any further on comic book stuff, that's for our other podcast where we have a chance to do that. Which we do have an episode out on it, and it's called The Quick Save Tavern. If you guys want to go check it out, let us know if you want us to continue. Now, could these all be the same creature or a species of aliens that have been visiting people? I'm not quite sure what to make of this myself, but they sure do get around. Not only has this creature appeared in California and Ohio, but there was also a sighting in Yosemite National Park by some park rangers who work there, and that they were setting up some security cameras. In this footage, though, people have claimed to have clearly seen feet on the creature, unlike the Fresno Nightcrawler footage, where the legs are basically ending in nubs. I don't know if you noticed. But this same footed creature was also recently seen in Poland, and that was that video I showed you with the shaky cam.
Yeah.
And that was recorded by a handheld camera. Although the videographer has stayed anonymous, so no further information was able to be obtained rather than just what we saw. Now, when it comes to cryptids, myths, and legends here on Below the Forest Floor, I like to try to find some sort of history of where a story like this could have started. But unfortunately, there is no history. It's so modern. But the thing is, it's not also, because there are people claiming to have seen these things as far back as the 80s. But we don't even know really, because people haven't really outwardly spoken about it till just recently from the things that we are seeing. So we can't really find a specific history for the Fresno Nightcrawlers with how long they've been around. So from right now, we could just basically guess the 80s were the first real sightings, just not documented by people that believe they're aliens. But something that I did notice during my research is that they looked vaguely similar to another type of creature, one much older than it, called a kodama, a Japanese tree spirit. When I say vaguely, I mean a Fresno Nightcrawler basically looks like a kodama without the arms or the face, because these tree spirits actually have like little arms and little holes for facial features.
And there's also so many different like variations and looks that have been depicted for Kodama over the years too. So
yeah, because some of the older depictions I saw, it looked like a dragon almost, and then these are like, I guess, the more recent looking ones, but I don't know if maybe the more recent ones got the ideas from the Fresno Nightcrawlers or vice versa.
No, well, it's
because the most recent ones that I saw of that were like Miyazaki films.
Yes, exactly.
So it's like, you know, what came first.
That's most people's first thought when you say Kodama, is just because when people have, you know, that's the popular, what is it, media of it now. So
yeah, the popular media representation.
Yeah, that's it.
But I'm not sure exactly what's going on with this. It could be a ghost. I don't think it's a ghost, because I've seen mostly ghosts with facial features or with arms or with, you know, some kind of human-like features that would obviously make it a human ghost. But I guess, I don't know, do aliens have ghosts? Is it a whole soul thing? I think that's a question for another episode, though.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure exactly what to think about all of this. Maybe it does have something to do with Kodamas, because when I looked up Fresno Nightcrawlers, this wasn't really something that I looked into too far, but people were making sculptures of them out of wood and made them kind of look like wood creatures out in the middle of nowhere. So I don't know if that's like another tree spirit kind of thing that people were kind of trying to put together. I don't know. It was just like a really weird thing. Didn't have too much on it. That's why I kind of wanted our very first episode of season 3 to be on this. I wanted a quick little mini-sode for us to be able to basically say we're back, we're excited to start the new season, here's some really weird, fun, creepy stuff that we learned. I'm super excited for the next episode. I cannot wait to tell you guys what it's about, because we're actually going to be doing one on Cupid.
Oh, yeah.
Because Valentine's Day is coming up, and Cupid is actually horrifying.
Cherubs in general are just, we definitely have to add more to it than just Cupid. Like, just talking about cherubs in general, they're creepy.
I actually saved a TikTok that a priest made, she made a TikTok depicting what they are supposedly supposed to actually look like, not like the fat baby thing, and it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, I literally did not want to go to sleep that night when I looked up what a cherub looked like. It was so scary.
And speaking of that, do you remember when Lotus was telling us about, like, he can't wait till we play Doom 3 on the stream? It's because there's a point where you kind of have something that's like that as well, and I can't wait to get to that point with you as well.
Oh, no! Dude, no, these things are scary. Okay, so now I'm not sure where I stand on the whole are they real or not situation. What do you think, Ryan?
Personally, I don't think they're real. It would be interesting to find out any more information about them, to maybe push one side or the other, but I think that I'm a little bit more on the fence of that it's kind of a fake thing. And there's not a lot of, well, no, I'm about 50-50 on most cryptids, where like I could see the fake stories. I can also see where it could be real. This one, I really can't see it being real unless it's like real as in a person in a suit sort of thing, you know? Person in a costume. Yeah. But other than that, yeah, I don't think it's anything more than just that.
That is completely fair. So I'm not really sure either, but I do know that whatever they are, they belong here with us below the forest floor. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast, and welcome to season 3. I am so excited, and I can't believe I'm saying that. Season 3 of Below the Forest Floor. Wow, it's been 3 years now. I'm so excited, and I'm so thankful to all of you guys, because this would not have been possible without any of you listening and supporting the channel, or sharing with your friends, family, etc. We are enjoying this journey of exploring the supernatural, and if you want to be able to help support us, we do have a Patreon, patreon.com/belowtheforestfloor. Any tier $1 and up will get a shout out at the end of each episode of Below the Forest Floor, which reminds me, Lotus Vincent is our #1 patron. He has been supporting Below the Forest Floor since we created the Patreon. Lotus Vincent, you are amazing. Thank you so much, and it means so much to us.
Woo!
That was Ryan back there. So, if you also love gaming or want to say hi to us live, we have a Twitch channel called Esterluna Metriel on, Twitch, which is a gaming video platform for the people who don't know what Twitch is.
It's a live streaming service for people that don't know. It doesn't always have to be gaming. There's a lot of different stuff that go on there. But we mainly do gaming, just chatting, stuff like that. So
yeah, for us, it's mostly gaming. It used to be mostly gaming. Now it's a bunch of other stuff.
One more thing at that point. If you don't have an account on there, it is free to just sign up for it and everything. And then you can go to people's channels. You can follow them that way. You'll be notified when they go live. You can talk to them in chat. And it's all around a really, really great place to go.
And we try to stream almost every day, and we have been recently streaming so much. Yesterday, we streamed 6 hours of Pokemon Legends Arceus, which is what we are currently streaming and trying to get through, if anybody's interested in that, or just wants to stop by and say hi, because we are, at the time of recording, we are only 2 followers on Twitch away from affiliate, which means we could have ads on our Twitch, which would mean we would have some monies coming in to support the channel and support Below the Forest Floor.
Yep.
So if you guys want to hop on to Twitch, it's free to sign up. It's free to follow us and say hi and see what's up. So we will see you all next time, and we hope you have a wonderful night. Bye!
Bye!